Superfoxes! Welcome to the Superfoxx channel. If you've not been here before, then my name is Julia and I'm your girl for all things politics, current affairs and news. And I know that politics and current affairs and news has a bit of a reputation for being boring, but it's A, not, and B, even if it was a little bit, it's important. So that's why I'm here. I'm here to make it really understandable and hopefully brief. So this week, as you may have seen by the title, I'm going to be talking you through the meaning of the word cabinet. So, the UK cabinet is a small team of about 22, 23 ministers who have been selected by the Prime Minister to look after a set area of the country's policies. So, you know, you'll have a Transport Secretary, a Foreign Secretary, Education Secretary. These days we even have a Secretary for breakfast. Brexit. Breakfast. I would do that, that would be great. Brexit though is what I meant. Anyway, who are these people that have these roles within the cabinet? Well, most of them are MPs. So the Prime Minister has selected people who have already been democratically elected into the House of Commons by us. It still means that they have to do their job as an MP, they've just got a lot of responsibilities, and their constituents, the people who originally voted for them, may well resent the fact that they get put on the cabinet, because that might mean that they get less sort of face-to-face time with their MP. But occasionally the Prime Minister might put on a member of the House of Lords. That would be decidedly less democratic because the House of Lords is an unelected body. And take it a step further, to be fair, it's been done where the Prime Minister has literally just gone to an outsider. So it might be a member of their executive staff, for example, and they've said, look, you have particular expertise that I require, so you're going to come to this cabinet meeting, or you're going to sit permanently on the cabinet. It's been done. So there isn't necessarily a set rule book as to where members of the cabinet can come from, but rule of thumb, generally MPs who have had a bit of a promotion. The cabinet meet about once a week in the cabinet room, which is imaginatively named, in 10 Downing Street, and they just talk through the week's agendas and issues as headed by the Prime Minister. It's kind of like in a business. The CEO will come to a meeting with all of the directors, hopefully regularly, so they can maintain an element of control and understanding as to what's going on in the business. And they're going to say to the HR director, right, what's going on? Is there anything that needs work? Right, marketing, how are we doing? Okay, finances. It's kind of the same thing. It's like as if the country was a business. So cabinet ministers are at the top of the political food chain, technically. You know, if a law is ever going to be made or changed or revoked, chances are that it was at a cabinet meeting that that process was kicked off. And, you know, by the same vein, if you ever wanted to change the current policy, or if you ever wanted to change the law, your best bet would be to get the backing from a cabinet minister. I mean, I imagine that all of the cabinet ministers are used to every day being cozied up to by some campaign manager or lobbyist or whatever who is desperately trying to, offer them favours and put on the charm offensive to try to get their agenda pushed to the forefront of the government's radar. Anyway, the key to understanding how the cabinet should operate is if you get your head around the idea of collective responsibility, which is the most jargony word ever, or term ever, but it's really, really key in order to understand how the cabinet kind of textbook should be operating. So, what is collective responsibility? Let's say that the cabinet have collectively agreed on the idea that it's compulsory for all children in the UK to sit a GCSE exam in DJing. Then if any one member of the cabinet realises that my individual opinion doesn't match this, I disagree with this, they would kind of be expected to resign. And if they didn't resign, they should at least stay totally silent, they should stay out of it, and they definitely shouldn't go to the likes of the media and say, the cabinet are doing this, I really disagree with it. Because it needs to be a collective, united body. Finally then, you might have heard the term shadow cabinet knocking about in the media, and you might have thought, what is that? That is the opposition's answer to the cabinet. So, as it stands in the current state of affairs, the Labour Party, who are the government's opposition right now, they have formulated a shadow cabinet consisting of shadow ministers who have been appointed by the party leader, which of course at the moment is Jeremy Corbyn, and he will have said to each minister, look, I want you to directly scrutinise and challenge and hold accountable your counterpart in the cabinet. So, you know, there's a shadow defence secretary, there's a shadow minister for education, and so on, and they're going to be looking at very closely with a fine-tooth comb everything that their counterpart is doing and scrutinising it, challenging it, saying what they would do differently. And that is it, I think. You hope. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.